Hello, I'm Paul Evely. I am the Senior Delivery Lead for the Digital Case File project, and I work for the Police Digital Service. Policing has traditionally sent prosecution case information to the Crown Prosecution Service, or CPS for short, on documents. Initially this was paper versions, but more lately this has been electronic document templates. The DCF project will move policing from completing documents to completing preset structured data fields, very much like the experience that we all have when we are using a computer to book flights or similar. So this will be achieved by working very closely with the CPS and other criminal justice agencies. We have already developed a set of agreed standards that will be developed into all existing case file systems across policing, and similarly with the CPS system. So that will make sure that there's a consistent set of information captured by the police and sent across to the CPS. In order to do that, we utilise an enhanced version of what is currently known as the two-way interface, or TWIF for short, and that sends that information across a wired connection between the police and CPS across the criminal justice system exchange. Case file quality has long been an issue for policing, and that's files failing the quality standards due to a range of issues, including missing or incorrect information and all the associated rework that causes. In many cases, many hours spent by frontline officers and staff putting those issues right. DCF looks to address this by improving the completeness and quality of the case file, and that's especially at the first submission stage. So a publication called the Review of Efficiency in Criminal Proceedings in 2015 by the Right Honourable Sir Brian Leveson stated that getting it right first time is the absolute priority of any improvements that need to be made to efficiency in the case file process, and DCF certainly puts that at the forefront in the design stage. DCF will introduce a number of new functions, and one of those new functions includes automation. And what that does, it pulls in information that's already recorded in other parts of the case file or in the record management system. And what that does is prevent duplication of entries and errors. So an example of these types of fields that will automatically populate are typically, the names of the officer submitting the case file, the defendant, and any dates across the case file. Mandated steps mean that officers will be unable to send the case file if they leave fields blank or enter certain information in the wrong format. This will help reduce errors and improve the case error rates. Documents are not intuitive. Officers have to manually decide the relevance of every field that they look at. What DCF uses is gateway questions. So these are yes or no questions, and only follows up these questions with more detailed questions if you answer in the affirmative. So I'll give an example. If an officer says yes to was the victim injured, then a series of questions about the type and seriousness of that injury would become visible to the officer. If the answer was no, then these questions would not be necessary and the officer would just simply move on to the next section. DCF also has a built-in user guidance that gives officers further information about what information is required in each field, making it easier and quicker to deal with the case file. Another key feature of DCF is the introduction of a two-way action plan, where actions required to strengthen the case can be recorded and sent either by the police or by the CPS. So currently action plans can only be sent one way, and that's created by the CPS and sent to the police. Introducing the ability for policing to record their intended further actions and inquiries will allow more proactivity and encourage better team working between the police and the CPS. We've already heard how DCF improves case file quality and efficiency and gives an improved user experience to officers and staff. But it also, very importantly, improves disclosure processes, which govern what material needs to be disclosed to the courts and the defence by the CPS ahead of any court case. DCF requires the submitting officer or staff member to correctly classify and describe the case material. Then, rather than the submitting officer then having to also separately create a schedule or a list of unused material, the digital case file system automatically places the material into the appropriate schedule on the CPS side. DCF will require to be periodically updated to reflect legal and procedural changes, as well as any new information requirements that are needed to be captured in case files in the future. We are working to identify how this will be managed once DCF is fully live and therefore moves from being a project to business as usual, or BAU. I'm delighted that we are now at the point where the first police supplier to produce a full build of DCF, and that's Niche Technology, have completed their development and they've delivered it to Minerva, who are the overarching business user group for the niche forces. That is a very important milestone for us as a project. Similarly, the CPS are very close to completing their development of their DCF product, which means that the remainder of this year will be spent in rigorously, methodically testing both the police and CPS DCF functionality. The first forces to go live, South Wales and Gwent Police, together with CPS Wales, are scheduled to switch over to DCF in April 2024. All other forces will start rolling out in late 2024. The Police Digital Service is currently working really closely with our delivery partners, including Minerva and the forces who are at the front end of that national rollout schedule, to make sure they are fully aware and prepared as best they can be for what lies ahead. The PDS's role in this project is to support the planning, the coordination, the project management and the rollout of DCF nationally, in close collaboration, of course, with our key partners and stakeholders. Further information, if you so wish, is available on the DCF site of the PDS Knowledge Hub, but feel free to contact us at dcf@pds.police.uk for any questions relating to this programme. Thank you and goodbye.